Hello, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here, and very blessed Vesak. I'm glad that you are all able to make it here, and those who are joining online. Thank you for joining me and the Tibetan Buddhist Society of Canberra, and as well as everyone around the world who are consciously celebrating, rejoicing the incredible blessings and gift of the fully enlightened one, who came to the world some 2,568 years ago. I don't know whether any one of us will be remembered even after 2 years of her death. If so, only few people maybe. So the fully enlightened Buddha came to the world, and tonight marks that very important full moon, Vesak, which is usually always fall in May. It's called Vesak in Sanskrit or Pali language because the Vesak is named after the month. In Tibetan, the translation of Vesak is Saka. That's usually the third last spring month in northern hemisphere. So this year, the Theravadan tradition of the Vesak day and Tibetan falls on the same day. But usually it doesn't because Tibetan got a very awkward calendar system, which often is 1 month later. But every 3 years, it comes back to a same day. So this year it just happened to be that. Usually we have a teaching here on Thursday night, but tonight we will combine the celebration of Buddha's birth, enlightenment, and passing away, celebrating that by rejoicing his qualities and blessings, not just tonight, but since you have been fortunate to find your way to find peace and refuge in the teachings. How much contribution and blessings and continuous blessings flows into your life. How many soul parts of your life has been healed by applying the remedy of Dharma's realization and teachings. So we are here to rejoice and offer thanks to the enlightened qualities. We have the theme of talking about the qualities of Triple Gem in the last few weeks. This is the fourth week. It's very fitting to rejoice tonight the qualities of the enlightenment of the Buddha. Whether he was born, whether he passed away in Kushinaga, whether he did this or that is pretty secondary if he didn't get enlightenment. So therefore, qualities of Buddha attaining enlightenment made a place where he was born sacred, and so on. So we should therefore rejoice the enlightenment of the Buddha, which is actually fall on the very full moon of Vesak. If it wasn't the enlightenment of the Buddha, his father's name wouldn't be remembered, his birthplace would not be remembered, as well as ancient kingdom of Shakyas would remember. There are so many kingdoms. Why should we remember Shakya? Why can't we remember Litsavi? Even Litsavi or kingdom of Litsavi we remember because Buddha went and taught there. Why should we remember kingdom of Shravasti? Because it's one of the many parts of India. It's just covered in rubbles and nobody will remember. But because it is related with the Buddha, therefore all of those places has been unearthed. India was invaded by British and was under British rule over 200 years. And it was buried under the war and many changes of regime, so many thousands of years. But only after India gaining independence in 1947, in 9 years later, then Indian government realized that they had the Buddha, it got enlightened in their land, and had a huge landmark and historical event. And they decided to celebrate 2500th anniversary of Buddha's enlightenment in 1956 in Delhi. Someone in India was able to remember that and recognize that. Prior to that, there was no government that would ever acknowledge Buddha and Buddhism in India. But then somebody, most likely quite a few prominent Indians, I don't think I need to name them, would have some role in instrumentalizing to celebrate that. And they invited all the Buddhist countries they thought had some Buddhism. And in that 1956 May full moon in Delhi, they celebrated the 2500th anniversary, and His Holiness the Dalai Lama and previous Panchen Lama were two main chief guests, as well as many other Buddhist leaders. And many countries sent their representative, including Indonesia, Malaysia, and Philippines, not to mention the actual Buddhist countries. And all passed a unanimous resolution to make full moon in May public holiday. All those countries agreed. So even today in Indonesia, which is the largest Muslim country in the world, they have Vesak as a public holiday. Can you believe it? So that shows how much those few though representative may attended to that celebration, but they went home and asked the government, please honor this day as a public holiday. So in Singapore, Malaysia is also a Muslim country, you know. And not to mention Philippines. Philippines are neither here nor there, as more probably Catholics than Muslim. But they also give Vesak a public holiday. So that shows, so from then onwards, I think it became more internationalized celebration of Vesak. And a couple of years ago, they also celebrate in the United Nations. So a few times they've been celebrating Vesak in Australia under the auspices of United Nations. But why these are so important is its enlightenment of the Buddha and its enlightening teachings, that whoever gets to read and understand and comprehend the Buddha's teaching, they all find a glimmer of hope in their life to switch the Dharma and understanding in their life through discipline, through meditation, through study, and so on. And so, of course, there's a huge tradition of how Vesak is celebrated in different countries, by individuals, by groups. So traditionally people take particular vows during the whole month of Saga Dawa. Even those people who they may take whole month of become vegetarian if they're not already, or others take special time to do retreat. Or what we call Nyungne. So some do reading of the whole Kangyur, the Buddhist literature, and they make everybody to come and join to read. And there are many forms of celebrations people do. In Australia, countries like Australia has a very small number of Buddhist population, and they're mainly ethnically based, and there are as many as ethnics are there who are Buddhists in Australia. Years ago, in the early 1980s and 90s, when we used to celebrate, all the Buddhist groups celebrate together. But now everybody got their roof of their head, so they're all doing their own things. They hardly come together. It just doesn't work for some reason. Also, there isn't much of a consensus to celebrate when, and often it falls on the day it falls, and never on Saturday or never on Sunday. So therefore, it's not quite convenient to celebrate. So previously we did few few events like a National Gallery or something like that. But someone really need to think months and months well ahead, get everybody to agree to come and put the time and resources. But this hasn't been happening in Canberra for a while because every temple has got their own roof and building and doing their own thing according to their calendar. I realize even even Theravadan countries have a slightly different dates. Not just the Vesak is same, but otherwise celebrating different dates according to their calendar. So, but we know that the full moon Vesak is celebrated, either even if it's not convenient on night like this because it's a weeknight. I'm sure many will be celebrating either coming weekend or last weekend. I know some people were celebrating last weekend, and we are doing a little bit of that also this coming weekend with our land blessing and construction. So, but tonight we are doing on the very night on the Vesak itself, as you would have noticed how full the moon is, the beaming, the Buddha's enlightenment. It wasn't that many of us wouldn't have not known each other, met each other, I'm sure. So incredible, really, if you really look at it. Some of your friendship, some of your life where you are now, would have never met those people that are important in your life. Dharma friends, one thing, some people in their own lives, partner or husband or wife or if it wasn't the Dharma, you would have never met, or vice versa. So I wouldn't be here at all. I would be probably somewhere in Tibet, just shepherding some couple of hundred sheep and and pulling the udders every morning, milking them maybe. But due to many karmic winds blowing from different directions, the Buddha has incredible influence through his power of his enlightenment, not to mention his compassion. His teachings are so penetratingly true. It may seem very difficult sometimes to practice, but it's so true. When you really turn to Dharma, it really quells the very problem that you refuse to accept. It opens a way for you that you thought was never possible. It's like those machines that drill mountains. Hopefully you'll be able to get to the other end. So a lot of time you don't know the practice, how this practice is going to make us to see through on the other end, because people have a lot of heavy burden of habits and karma and afflictions and their weaknesses, often holding them back. But when we truly adopt the teachings, we tailor it accordingly, truly remember, truly take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, Sangha. Take refuge really means believe in the teachings and do the teachings and try to live as much as you can. You be patient with hard and difficult people. Don't to retaliate those who harm you, who accuse you, who blame you, who mistreat you. And instead tolerate them and accept them as a purification of one's own karma, as a prevention of their negative karma from increasing if you tolerate it. It's not a question of who's right, who's wrong, but who can make a difference to prevent it from escalation. And therefore bear the hardships now, but have actually long-term great benefit in doing that for oneself and others, and then the overall relationship between the self and others. So when you have that kind of mind that actually has a great wisdom to understand the veracity of the teachings, you'll find an additional dose of stamina, of wisdom, of tolerance. Because we live in a zero-tolerance society. There's hardly any place that says, yes, let's practice tolerance. If anyone is doing difficult, there's very little room or time, but anyone practice tolerance. So that's why the higher enlightenment is where you practice tolerance when it's really difficult. It's not a question of who's right and who's wrong, but who can reduce the wrong by not overreacting and by not reacting at all, and yet tolerate it. Buddha himself sat under the tree, whether it's weather, whether it's nature, whether it's beasts or humans or beasts who come and interfere with it, he completely tolerated that. His body was completely reduced to just skin and skeleton. He was showing the true enlightenment is where you practice peace. Peace is not practice when there is nothing wrong. Peace is practice when everything is wrong. When everything is wrong, you need to practice patience. What's the point of being nice to nice? There's nothing, hardly any use for that. And being tolerate when some situations are intolerable, very difficult. Obviously someone is wronging you, but how can we practice Dharma? Most people have very little intention to actually practice tolerance. They may want to practice Dharma in form of rituals and prayers and forms and color and ethnicity and language, but when it comes to practice, you can see how small, how little dose of patience people are willing to practice. As soon as it hits the body, they don't want to do it. Buddha sat under that tree. Sometimes we might think it's nice to go to sit under a tree, but usually it's only at the longest 2 hours is very comfortable. After that, the sun moves or the wind blows, we straight away move. Why did the Buddha sit motionless on one spot? Never mind what side of the tree, where the wind is blowing, how hot it's going, how cold, how dry. He sat there 6 years. Now, enlightenment is not achieved miraculously. Enlightenment is achieved through practically conquering the demons, whether it's a physical, whether it's a karmic, whether it's affliction, whether it's cognitive, overcoming all those wrong views. So therefore, it's very important for us to reflect tonight. All those many years ago, since then till now, where your life's difficulties have truly made you to realize what refuge constitute. And we can multiply that many times tonight by rejoicing and expressing your gratitude. So when we do the 16 hour puja, which some of you may have done before, it is actually a prayer that constitutes 7 limbs. 7 limbs. First is of course we always take refuge and for measurables, and the main thing is we do 7 things. First is paying homage. So we visualize, first we create the Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha in the space above, surrounded by all the enlightened ones, particularly the 16 arhats. So we visualize them, we invite them. As we create shrines like this, these are just physical symbols we put, but we need to bring them in your meditation, the actual wisdom beings in the space above. And so we create them in the meditation as an object of meditation. And then in presence of that, we do 7 things. First is pay homage. So paying homage is like if you come into a room, you bow down, or do at least a little bit of a. But here, when we're doing the puja, we are actually doing that through. There's a whole section we'll be paying homage to each of the 16 arhats and their 16,400 retinues, not to mention Shakyamuni Buddha, who is presiding over that. So we visualize all of them, and then we do, first is paying homage. Paying homage is a remedy for our pride. Buddha is completely worthy of paying homage because he has no arrogance. He overcame all the afflictions. So when we are paying homage, we need to multiply your body as many as atoms of the universe, and then not just this life, but all your past lives and your so on, multiply them together with everyone here and visualize all of them before the Buddha, that's measuring their body, just totally sort of doing the full-length prostration by way of expressing your devotion physically. Verbally, we sit still and chant the prayers by verbally paying homage, and mentally we visualize, we see very sincerely, we do not let the mind wander off, and we stay very present. Is a meditation. The prayer is puja is a meditation, facilitated meditation. So don't think when does you do the meditation. Actually, your meditation is present. When the Buddha is in front of you, you keep your attention like your breath. When you do the normal meditation, you meditate on the breath or a posture. Here, you focus on the Buddhas. They're incredible qualities. You just try to open your mind and rejoice this infinite, and then try to show your devotion, show your greetings, show your humility, and honor physically, verbally, mentally. So that's the first of the 7 limbs. This purifies your arrogance, which everybody's got so much of it, so much of it. Any difficulty you have with someone is all due to your arrogance, lack of respect to your parents or friends or whatever, so they are cross at you because we didn't show them respect. So we bear the brunt of it, we carry the guilt and then resentment to each other. So they talk about merit of celebrating Vesak, but you've got to do the meritorious thing. You've got to own your anger, your pride, your arrogance, and acknowledge them, that I don't want to do this. I don't want to do arrogance. I don't want to do pride. Instead, I will practice humility and then remember the Buddha and the enlightened ones and offer your devotion physically, verbally. So that's the first limb. This is very important. And also make a little vow that I will now, from now onwards, show respect to everyone, just as we show to the Buddha. And Buddha doesn't need our respect. He doesn't need to any bit of respect. But our people need respect. Your parents need respect, your friend needs respect, your colleague needs respect. If they cross at you, it's because you don't have the merit of humility and kindness towards them. Therefore, they are cross at you. And so, therefore, we must make a vow to repair this first limb. First broken limb is that due to arrogance. So we try to practice that. So that's the first limb. So therefore, the puja that you're coming to actually is coming to repair our own self on Vesak Day, first limb. Second limb is the if you have a text before you, so this second limb is making offerings. Making offerings are firstly limb of offering constitute flower, incense, physically arranged offerings, mentally imagined offerings, and then the mandala here. Buddhists always make mandala offering. So you try to offer. Second is limb of offering. So you're coming all the way from your home tonight, so that is already an offering. You're already here, but you need to make sure how to validate that while you're sitting here in the right posture with stillness and tolerance, patience, and then you offer your verbal energy by chanting, physical energy by sitting still in devotion, verbally, mentally you're offering your devotion and faith and expression. All of that is offering, really. So offering meaning generosity. This is a remedy for your miserliness. People are so mean towards each other over small things. They fight over things, they hurt each other. Incredible, isn't it? They're not really fighting for the territory, for instance, in the Middle East. They're all fighting with enmity, with incredible meanness to each other. You wouldn't believe how those beautiful cities are turned into rubble because people are so mean. They don't want to be nice to each other. They want to destroy each other. So offering is an incredible healer. Giving is amazing healing. So that's why people give on Vesak days to the poor, to the Sangha, to the good cause. Some people, incredible, they release life from in danger. Those who are going to be killed, they buy those creatures and release them. And so people give. So giving on Vesak is a second limb. Second limb is giving. So here, ritually in our practice, we offer physically in mudras and mentally, but you actually need to make a vow to offer some things in your life to people who are crook with you, because you've been mean to each other. That's why the problem is. And you are also miserable because you are so miser towards others. And so, yet the things themselves can can bring friends if we are not attached to them and give things to each other. Buddha doesn't need flowers. Buddha doesn't need apples. Buddha doesn't need, buns. Buddha doesn't need butter sculpture. It is for us learning to give to each other, and then heal the wounds from taking from each other, not returning. And a lot of karma from stealing, a lot of karma from taking things that one doesn't meant to be using. There's a lot of negative karma. People are weighed down. And on Vesak Day, if you confess them, if you acknowledge them and make a vow to give and heal, and that's the limb of offering. And then mandala offering is constituting the part of the second limb, mandala offering. And the third limb is confession. Confession is actually whatever we have, things over which our own guilt delusion, our own childishness, our own transgressions of our own vows and precepts. We often judge others. Others' flows you couldn't tolerate. You think we shouldn't have anything to do with it because they have some flaws, but we don't realize we have just as many. So we should acknowledge them and therefore offer confession in the wisdom eyes of the Buddha and make a little vow how to improve from here onwards. Then we are celebrating Vesak. Otherwise, they do lots of colorful things outside to show, cutting ribbons, throwing bubbles, balloons, and all those colorful things outside. But inside, still dark. Inside, no lights lit. So the offering, confession is amazingly important. In Buddhism, we don't go to the shrine or the priest to confess. We confess in front of daily in our prayers. You don't ask some monks or teachers to you make your confession too, because that's never recommended. If you need to do it, you do in your daily practice. So when you come to the puja like this, we do the confession. And so if you do confession, you have a lot more, the limb of confession. If you have done your confession, you're much kinder to people who do mistakes, who do wrong things. You're not judging them, you're not throwing stones at them, because you know your own share of faults and flaws. And you probably have more flaws than you think they have. Because one's own flaw is much harder to see. Other people's flaw you just project. You see them even if they don't have. So confession is a very important practice. Then you will not have judgment to others. If you have the limb, repair that limb, you don't judge others, which is it's a complete blissful feeling. You don't judge others. You instead examine your own thoughts and minds and behaviors, what needs curtailing and changing. And then the teaching is teaching us all the time, not to point flaws of other people, but mind your own flaws, and then just try to do any amendment what you can do on Vesak Day or any day from on. So most people renew their vows, refuge, in the Triple Gem on Vesak. That's what we will do. We will do refuge at the beginning, and we renew our bodhicitta, we renew all our precepts and so on. It's very important. But if you don't confess the transgressions of one's own limitations, you cannot repair the repair. So that's why it's important to repair the damages done by one's own negativities in the past. And never late. And if a practitioner is able to acknowledge them, particularly on Vesak nights, they say it's a very, very powerful night. But you have to do the powerful yourself. You have to truly, regretfully, remorsefully ask the Buddhas to bear witness to your true confession, true regret, and then not stay with guilty feeling here onwards, but try to empty your heart and mind in the presence of the Buddha. So that's a limb of confession. You almost have a feeling that the big burden on your back has been unloaded. It says in the teachings that the truth of cessation is like you have totally removed the big burden on your neck, and you no longer feel the weight anymore. You completely cease from the problem. Because why? Because you're following the truth of the path. You follow the path like doing this practice together with everyone. You must do this not only for yourself, for your mom, for your dad, for your other people, for the benefit of all sentient beings, as well as for the benefit of all those people who are really, really living on hell in earth, like in the war places. You wouldn't believe that we could allow such things to occur. But yet our world is so troubled by this kind of situation. So we can offer this dedication of these merits in order to amend and correct the world. And then the rejoicing the merits is all the good things we should rejoice, not jealousy. And instead of jealousy and a sort of envy, we should rejoice everybody's good, whatever they are, from smallest thing to the enlightened qualities of Buddha. That's why we came here to rejoice the Buddha's enlightenment. Yeah, we came to rejoice all the arhats, all the incredible succession of lineage masters and great beings like His Holiness Dalai Lama, and all the teachers that you have met. You should rejoice their small contribution to your life, and you should rejoice your parent and family's kindness and everyone in your life, and you should not be jealous of anyone. So that's the main puja. Puja is really an offering to yourself and to other sentient beings. Buddha doesn't need any of this offering, any of the rejoicing. However many flowers we offer to the Buddha, as high, as tall as Mount Sumeru, still he wouldn't be impressed. He would be impressed if we show loving kindness to each other. We rejoice each other. We forgive each other. And that we tolerate each other. That will be much better offering to the Buddha than any kind of colorful decoration that people do. It's a very good thing to do. I'm not saying we shouldn't do, because we are not doing much, so it's not an excuse that we shouldn't do those things. The Buddhists do lots of big processions, and every group makes a truck or something. People do those sorts of things. It's good to do those things, because everybody rejoices with different cultural embellishment and decorations, and as how they show honor to the Buddha, when you see them doing that, So while those things are one, but main thing we need to do is internally we need to really rejoice your health, for instance. How many years you've stayed healthy, It's really good to admire. You're so blessed to be healthy, unlike other people who are stuck for the whole life on a wheelchair and never sort of could do anything by themselves. So you must have certain reserve of merit to enjoy the good health that you have. So we should rejoice things like that. So the limb of rejoicing is the remedy for your depression, anxiety, which lots of people do. Depression, sadness, and fear, and worry. All these things happen because you have broken your limb. You don't know how to rejoice the good. You're only listing the negative things. Like this society, always talking about negative things. They never talk about good things. They print a newspaper with 40 pages, but all negative things. They never print positive things because there's so much to say. They don't have enough ink. They only have ink to report negative things, and most of them are not true. Most of them are written out of jealousy to conspire each other. You can see all this, what's going on in the world. It's all negative, to destroy each other out of vindictiveness, not that there is any facts or truth. So you can see, instead of rejoicing, there's a lot of jealousy. And due to jealousy, then they do all sorts of defaming somebody or doing terrible things, poison each other, all these things, because they don't have the merit to rejoice. Instead, they have ability to poison others. So you can see how much of suffering people are caused by lack of these 7 limbs. They're all crippled because none of these limbs are intact. People's limbs are all broken. So therefore, rejoicing is a very powerful remedy for jealousy and envy and self-loathing and depression. And then the 5th one is requesting to turn the wheel of Dharma, so asking to teach. So the Buddha's teaching lasts for 5,000 years, so we still got 2,332 years left, which is pretty good, really. According to Buddhist calendar, according to Tibetan Buddhist calendar, it's not that much left. So they're a little bit more pessimistic. We think Tibetan calendar thinks we've done more than 4,200 years since Buddha got enlightened, so we got only 900 years left. So, but at least we still got 900 years. So that's a lot to get things right. So asking the Buddhas to teach, asking present living teachers like His Holiness Dalai Lama and His Holiness Gongma Trichin Rinpoche, all the venerables, arhats and Mahastaviras and Roshis and in various cultures, we all request them to wish them all to live long, because it's very easy to die. You can make a small mistake, you could die. And they don't know how to look after their teachers. They're just taking the wrong places, and all of a sudden they can't breathe. There are lots of that is happening these days because people think their teacher should go everywhere, even though he's not fit. You have seen those. So they could stay longer and teach the Dharma. So requesting to turn the wheel of Dharma is a remedy for our spiritual neglecting our spiritual practices. We should try to do certain practices each day, each week, together with friends, sanghas, and on your own. We have many ways to make sure the Dharma is always turning in our life. But often people are neglecting their duties of whatever the thing is, their personal practices or communal activities, Sangha activities. People are hardly doing much at all, which is really a shame. What constitutes them as a member of a Sangha or community if they don't want to do anything for the sake of upliftment of Dharma and its teachings? They all want to see and watch others do, they don't want to do nothing. So when we say request to turn the wheel of Dharma, someone got to ask someone to teach. Someone got to open the door. Someone got to vacuum the place. Someone got to do all of that. So everybody have to make feel, what am I doing to support the turning of the Dharma continues? So we have to sort of dust our mind and try to see what we are doing so that these teachings of the Dharma continues to be taught, not just in our generation to us, but future generation to other people. So that's the 5th one. 6th one is requesting the Buddhas. Of course, Buddha has already passed away in nirvana, but his immortal teaching is still alive. But mortal teachings and teachers, sanghas, organizations, communities, we want them to live long and stay strong to be able to hold and support the Dharma, so requesting not to pass away in nirvana is how can we make sure the things doesn't discontinue, but how can we make sure they continue? What are you doing as an individual in your what are you doing to make sure that the teaching and activities of teaching does not die out like a lamp, The lamp, butter lamp itself is not butter lamp. Butter lamp needs oil. Butter lamp needs a wick. Butter lamp needs someone to mind it, to burn it, so on. It's just not an ordinary home. Dharma home is not. That needs the oil. They need the wick. They need someone to replenish the oil and put a new wick and clean the old. And we need all of that. So when we say requesting not to pass away into nirvana, we're not talking individual person not to pass away. We're talking how can we make sure the lamp of Dharma is continually burning. And your study will help because you might be able to pass it on to other people. But how can we make sure that collectively that lamp of Dharma continues to burn and give the light to dispel the darkness in which people are lost? So why we're asking the teachers to live long, all the long life prayers we do, because this puja is mainly constitute requesting the teachers to live long, may the teachings flourish, which is really, the intention is obviously clear that how important it is that lamp continue to burn and someone need to change the wick, someone need to bring more oil. The lamp might be there, but lamp itself put upside down, nobody making the wick, nobody bringing the oil. So how the lamp is going to burn? There's lots of empty lamps there. So one day they said, the empty lamps will be rusted and never used, and never even know it's a butter lamp. The vajra will not be used, bell will not be used. Somebody has a bell, and at a pub they use the Vajrayana bell to. Some people think that Vajrayana bells to use, call people, things like that, because people, such things are not used and kept alive by people. So we all have this amazing, each and every one has a responsibility to support your Sangha, to do some things in order to make sure that teaching doesn't pass away or group does not disappear, so that everybody can share a lift. And then we are really requesting not to pass away into nirvana, because then you are making sure the teaching is also heard and studied by our next generation, our little ones, your little ones, and they will also have a place to go and learn the Dharma, because we are truly honoring the Buddha. Otherwise, we are just another ethnic group, try to just keep them feel a little bit home occasionally, but otherwise, nothing really doing for the teachings. So a lot of the ethnic Buddhist group are like that. They're not interested in anybody but people who speak their language. They wouldn't even want anybody to come unless they speak Thai or unless they made lunch. So we need to promote the teachings. And the last but not least is dedication. Seventh is dedication, meaning we are rejoicing and dedicating, sharing the merit to everyone, which is very important, because even this puja we're not doing for ourselves. It may think that, it may look like that. I went this, I need that type of thing. But actually we should not think like, we should think of other people in your lives and include them in your prayers. And then make small little prayers for them and think of them and dedicate the little merits there is towards others. So that's the really main gist of it. So when we do the 16 Ara Puja, so you will notice we are doing in the structure of these 7 things, and which constitute visualizing the Buddha with 16 arhats, and we call upon each of the names. It says what they look like, how many retinue they are, where they abide, because Buddha appointed each of the 16 arhats as Dharma protectors to dwell in different parts of the world. So they are regarded as Dharma protectors. And wherever people do these prayers, the 16 arhat comes and propagate and help the Dharma to assist. I'm sure our group is stayed last 35 years, because we do offer these prayers all the time. We don't offer for any specific, we offer for the sake of teaching to flourish and teachers to live long, so that people like us have the teachings. So we do that by imagining them, and then do the 7 things one by one, and then at the end, we recite the mantra. So when we are doing throughout this puja, you should visualize the Buddha is right in front of you, and through his holy body, through his enlightened mind, we are continue to receive these inspirational blessings. So with this in mind, we will do the 16-hour puja. Thank you for everyone being here and joining us online. So if you have got the text, we are going to start on page 1. So rest is pretty much able to. So you just have to use this as a meditation while we're reciting, but you should stay very present in your mind and read each line verbally, audibly, and then make the humming sound itself as a way to make the puja. Puja means offering. We're offering our devotion and so on. So everybody, huh?
You can screen share.
You can.
For people
Yes, and we will screen share.
But you,
Huh?
you please, you need to do it.
Where's the thing? Oh, I can't see nothing. See, there's nothing there. I thought because I didn't bring my laptop. It wasn't on. Yeah. Okay, everyone, thank you. So we're going to screen share the prayers for you. Please, as I mentioned, sit still, remain very focused in meditation, and follow the words and the meanings in a very prayerful situation for the benefit of all by rejoicing tonight's very very profoundly auspicious night. Think of everyone with you, for them. So we'll start with refuge. Thank you, everyone. In the Buddha, Dhamma, Asanga, Hare refuge in enlightenment, Bhava Jiva Jiva Handala, Hajare Buddha Uduebi. In the Buddha, Dhamma, Asanga, Hare refuge in enlightenment, Bhava Jiva Jiva Handala, Hajare Buddha Uduebi. In the Buddha, Dhamma, Asanga, Hare refuge Ladem Bhava Jiva Jiva Handala Hajare Buddha Uduebi. In the Buddha Dhamma Asanga Hare refuge Ladem Bhava Jiva Jiva Handala Hajare Buddha Uduebi. May all beings have happiness and cause of happiness. May they be free from suffering and a cause of suffering. May they know a power from happiness that knows no suffering. May they live in equanimity, free from attachment, aversion, never. May all beings have happiness and cause of happiness. May they be free from suffering and a cause of suffering. May they know a power from happiness that knows no suffering. May they live in equanimity, free from attachment, aversion, never. May all beings have happiness and cause of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the cause of suffering. May they know our power of happiness that know no suffering. May they dwell in equanimity, free from attachment with those near and far. The truth of the triple refuge, the grace of the truth and the sun, the truth and the mother to bring up for the a pleasant pressure Deva measure, well I tra lotus amanda, very great clouds or chibia bono, mandra hensa, and enjoy the namora nandaya, o namo bangava. Vajrasara Bhamandane Dadangadaya Arahade Samya Sambudaya Dadyada Om Vajra Vajra Ma Denjam Benja Ma Bidjam Benja Ma Bodhi Jidam Ma Bodhi Mendaba Samankaman Vajra Sava Kama Varan Bijadana Benja Zava Namorana Jaya O Namo Bhagavate Banjasara Bhamanda Tadangadaya Arahade Samya Sambudaya Tadyada Om Vaja Vaja Ma Denja Benja Ma Vidya Benja Ma Bodhi Jida Bodhi Mendraba Samakarmana Vajra Sava Kama Varan Bijadana Benja Zava Namorana Jaya O Namo Bhagavate Banjasara Brahmandan Tadangadaya Arahade Samya Sambudaya Tadyada Om Vaja Vaja Ma Denjam Ma Bidjam Benja Ma Bodhi Jidam Benja Ma Bodhi Mendra Sakamana Vajra Sava Kama Vara Bijadana Benja Upon a planet's flood as once at a rivers and sets a precious square for the measure with a lotus on a moon the throne. Beza says a Lord oh free, all live here with the compassion. And this is just having a return here come to us we pray. Let us all the temples and yours are all our wisdom find us is obey. Shravaka Asanga who here koma come to us that we may honor you and pay tribute to it obey. Protect our Shagalaya, place all his riches into your hand. Omni caskets of holy teaching, Dhamma Gadzanga, please God. We beseech you to spread the Dhamma, come for tribute to it obey. Bound by the surges of the holy, David Bena of the Doge, Angaja Ajeda Galega, Vanavasa Gana Gavaza, Vajipudra Juda Bantaga, Badragana Gabaradoja. Pengrepindola Baradoja Bagala Rahula Bandaga and the Greahanagasena Olego Baga and Abeda wherever you to the Merefe please come forward to Adobe Buddha Yokavestavira Trebiyas and Pachadarama Veyojizo Habisije Yopanagada Buddhas were Shayo caused to Adada Samsara forever Best Oya was a Bliblica the Upasaka who saw refuge True to Hewa attend the come to the pressure field of matter. Please come for to beauty and Namora Nadaya O Namo Bangava Vajrasara Bamandana Tatangataya Arahade Samya Sambuddhaya Tadyata Om Bhaja Bhaja Ma Bhaja Ma Tenja Bhaja Ma Bija Bodhi Cheta Benjama Bodhi Mendaba Sakaramana Vajra Sava Kama Avara Bijodana Benjaza. So that concludes the invocation of all the 16 arhats, enlightened ones. Now here begins the 7 limbs. Oda daga da zo trivota intendere shalan zo yume tra ya vedare sasha abada we body was by the strength of this good action prayer abada we as man in body as a terms all the Buddha to all the Veda that I behold. For each other as man in Buddha, as a term said, I made the whole. Does I imagine Dharma completely fair without concord? Every balance is a present, there is not in an ocean of music. I praise all the Buddha quality, and your lojas of the Sugadas. So now we're going to invite each of the 16 arhats one by one, as you can see the diagram on your left and the description on your right. Choedak Buddha, never fed in beauty, one face to hand leg, here goes the heart to win, Kralala to the gurus, and let the children flourish, to the great Angaja, who was in this mountain with the hand he holds a ball and fly with Kralala to the gurus and let the children flourish to the great Ajita on such a crest mountain with his 100 is its a meditation. Kralala to the gurus, and let the teaching flourish. To Grevanavasi, 7 fully le gro zho ve fo zhe han de a ha yi tre zhen zhen ho za we gra la la e zhe de gurus e le da zhi zhen flourish e zhe da gre ka le ka in zhang bu de ba we tis e le we han de a ha he ho za go den ye re gra la la e zhe de gurus e le da zhi zhen flourish e zhe gre va zhi bu da o ke bai sing ga la de 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 zhen za ho za we gra la la e zhe de gurus e le da zhi zhen flourish e zhe da gre shi ba dra on da ya mu na re wa we te 1200 a ha preaching a me de de gra la la e zhe de gurus e le da zhi zhen flourish e zhe ga na ga va za hu zhuo se ho le ka shme we te 500 a ha pressure news in his gra la la e zhe de gurus e le da zhi zhen flourish ga na ga ba ra duo za e we shen go da ni ya we se we han de a ha yi se ze me de zhe zhen gra la la e zhe de guru e le da zhi zhen flourish e zhe da gre ba gu la hu zhuo se no de guru we de 900 a ha his two hands hold a mongoose gra la la e zhe de gurus e le da zhi zhen flourish e zhe da gre ra hu la hu ke bai zhi yang gu e le we han de a ha he ho za precious gle e la la e zhe de gurus e le da zhi zhen flourish e zhe zhe da ban da ga a ba ba zhe pi ma zhe we se zhe han de a ha he se zhe me zhe 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 gra la la e zhe de gurus e le da zhi zhen flourish bin da la ba ra duo za who lives is ten de ha with his 1000 a ha he holds a ball and scripture gra la la e zhe de gurus e le da zhi zhen flourish e zhe da gre ban ta ga hu zhuo zhen zhi ya zhen xia with his 900 a ha he holds a book and preacher gra la la e zhe de gurus e le da zhi zhen flourish e zhe gre na ga se na in bi du la ba sha wa with his 100 a ha a va se sta ve his gra la la e zhe de gurus e le da zhi zhen flourish e zhe ho le go ba ga on gre bi hu la ma zhe ge wo za zhe zhe Gurus, Grala, to the Gurus, Alada, Chichen, Flourish, to the Great Abeda, what was in the Himawa, with his 1,000 aha, he holds a Bodhistupa, Grala, to the Gurus, Alada, Chichen, Flourish, to Greta the Mata, he holds his heaven. Mita Bawa Che, Gaza was and flower, Krala to the Gurus, and let the chichen flourish, to the focus of rest, all notice as a harvesting and diligence, Pajada Buddha teaching. La to the Gurus, and let the teaching flourish. Now the second limb of making offerings. Sacred flowers and holy colors, symbol bands and finest umbrella. Escozelas and Suza, the Gongora, Saka garments and the best perfume, visit by the Lama matter, special design and all things wonder, all the Gongora. I know this is the Sansa, I met the Buddha with my mind, by the strength of this good exertion, abide under all the Gongora. Om Banjram Bumeo, Bezagoran Grand Firmin Bio, Benzareja, Suramba and Fence, Sentences, whom Sumeru, King of Mount, in the East Providia, South Zambu Deva, Vesagodani, Nodu Guru, Deha, and Videha, Chamara, Barajamara, Sada Uttara-tantra, Guravan Karawa, Pressure Mountain. Wish fulfilling tree, wish fulfilling cow, and blogger, pressure, pressure, minister, precious elephant, excellent, precious soul, precious general, great treasure, goddess of beauty, goddess of garland, goddess of song, goddess of dance, goddess of incense, goddess of flower, goddess of light, goddess of birth, the sun, the moon, the precious umbrella, banner, victory, and all the perfect collection of wealth, the splendors, humans, God without exception, over to the Holy Shakyamuni Buddha, Lord of Sages, and the 16 Staviras, a host of grant your blessings of sentient beings, Om Guru Buddha, Buddha, Sadhu, Sabare, Vara, Namandala, Pujam. Samunda Sabara Zamayo the blessed now appear Santa Masumero Adam by for content 5 cents or just on all God's marriage as a royal treasure, the granting covenant, a block of as ever was a month of fine, the best of pressure. I get good and Buddha that I can, Lord, my offering for Anoshano, pure as I die, Ekala Gladzo Tribute, Ornamenta, Resolita, shining into directions that just was to repression, Lord, to beyond number shade, pressure light, just was like California, or just all the sense to grad, to Baga Zayume La Offensa Samantaba Rajebeka Forba Ma Chayama Pave La Darama Dada Ela Elo has the Wadobe I offer that to thy King of Dhamma Sura Deva thy virtues I Reba Prateka Buddhasa Ahameo Adesave Benjo de Iricha Lightame my body whatever all 3 times I offer all the Saka every this I offer with respect to you dear Oseyewa Holy Ajas Amagi through your compassion for me Pajego de Mave best of me ya bless Om Guru Buddha Bodhisattva Sabare Namendala Buja Menga Samanda Sabara Samaya every measure I committed with my body, my voice, and my mind. Together, the delusion, I confess them each and every one. I rejoice in all of the matter of conquerors in the direction. They are saying about the Buddha, learn as a living being. You illuminate the general who have went to judge enlightenment. Open to the scientist you, turn to below the mama. For the hands of believers, all those who go attain nirvana, to stay with the for countless years, to benefit living being. Whatever merit I have accrued, through bowing, tribute, and confessing, requesting, praying, I dedicate to the enlightenment of all being. By calling upon the holy name of the Lord of Sages, along with the name of the Virginians, I shall propitiate their solemn pledges. Tadyada Amane Mune Mahamune Shakya Mune So Tadyada Amune Mune Mahamune Shakya Mune Azo 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 Tahadyada Mune Mune Mahamune Shakyamune Azo Tahadyada Mune Mune Mahamune Shakyamune Azo Tahadyada Mune Mune Mahamune Shakyamune Aso 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 Tahadyada Mune Mune Mahamune Mune Mune Mahamune Tadiyada mune mune ma mune jaja mune yazo Buddha zemane shen chu treja Aho zo le se tena ha Gada ro chen chu e do be ye Ble da da chen chu en jo ve Se tena ha lo zo kan pa ja Ve de se ten ta zen po han ja Ko zan de fa kro samsara Bleza do chen chu en jo ve Da me re fe do evre be ye Where there is a pianza over it Assemble a great and noble be Bleza do chen chu en jo ve May all my own and other virtue spread the joy and so and joy. May it cause us suffering be now. May the sea of samsara be feeling an ocean no matter purify all wisdom the grace over ya may hope be special to his Adam Buddha the perfect never part from your quality you bring of ever better better good grand go by compassion of all the Buddha, you manifest as the Vera form to God the teachings and to be holy grand go project all the dependent Dawa, Drishta Rasha and Virudaga, Virupasha and Vaishravana, of Ogeke Granda Gopochum. So Nefitanjo, Meda teaching power forever, Meda holy Dama Hodala, La Vete Bena Eva Zemba. By the sage come you to Dawa, by the teacher shining like the sun, Sanga and the sub in a call, Meda George, Ewa Moy. Supreme Garden of the Northern Fair wisdom and accomplishment. Light and daughters in the land of snow. Meta teachings of Saka Ingrid. Vajrasana of the snow. Meta Damarolo Sakagro. Meta Lene Bine wa broke. Me Grede Bevazes. Gregor Damalo Pandita was a mighty reverend Manjush. Second Buddha Glazes Asanga, so that they may enjoy forever. Now we'll offer special long life offering prayer for His Holiness and all great spiritual masters, because they're all in very ripe ages. You know, His Holiness Sakya Tenzin is turning 80, His Holiness Dalai Lama is turning 90. There are only maybe two living masters of those who born in Tibet and raised in Tibet. So their longevity depends on our collective merit. So we're going to do this Glorious gratitude, precious one, sits upon a lotus on my head. Having grace, Troya, bless my body, voice, and mind, in a mortal life, protective, seven avant granted, greater semblance granted, greater attainment of immortal, Padivana Bama Sambhava, wisdom, love, and power, radiant from Saka, of insight and Dawa, Master of the Four, bliss little, no one Gungala, no country one, giving joy and benefit to all, honor of the great and sacred, which fulfilling great and bliss little, meditating, thinking, listening, bless upon amor, God and Chichi Pekombo, the Dharma Soro, Esalan Refuge, Ferem, Second Buddha, teacher, Olam Deva, Lepato Buddha, Chodrus, teachings of the Saka, Vandava, Yotila Buddha, Ferem, Heaven can you build, Father's will, Holding Saka, Power, Temple, Radiating Saka, Dhamma, Vajala, Trisaka, Lorem, Triple Jamin, Teacher, Kainendra, Yidam, Protector, Fulham, Provident and Change, Salendra, by the Baza, will be fulfilled in the lands around the boundary. You the source of happiness and go, Tenzin Gaza, Holy Genesis, Lilo and the sons are raised in the lands around the mountain. You the source of happiness and Tenzin Gaza, Holy Genesis, Lilo and the sons are raised in the lands around the mountain. You the source of happiness and go, Tenzin Gaza, Holy Genesis, Lilo and the sons are raised. I've got the wrong text tonight. Yeah.
Lord of sublime light and majesty, bestow everlasting magicness, one so good, Angela Regina, bless the Lord, ancient treasures of the music. Generation for the Mandela, Tele Opera, Radela, Saka Magician, bless the Lord, unimpeded Lala. Difference of you and love, magician, unseen by the wise and follows. You are the Lord's was bless the Lord, perfect in the journey, purity, cool and soothing rays of compassion. Let I let you rise to nine power, Buddha, Dhamma, Kraya, bless the Lord. Golden teacher, one Jews, Osida, Pardon, Jesus, winning for Kaya, Pavolo, you Jew, Flower, your tenders ocean, bless the Lord, turning Dhamma, well and temporal. In the seven Ratna Adhika, Eruvan, Erudela Enguru, Granda Siddhi Yedam Buddhas, Bodhisattva Bala Refuge, George, True Blessed Bala, be fulfilled in the sky, Lord of us, rising all ways, Mandala shining waters away, to the
my friend, say I bow from the big Sutra and the flood of valley, for Segama, I pray to the Lord, who can breze, peace and contra, bodhicitta, feeling at a pride, besek, or to say, just I pray to the pressure. I don't think should you remember slow be God as in the I don't think all of compassion for Sagana and Asamaya Judge Badaron or Dodesili Abiana Novaration Dawa Nema Nagaya Granema we pressure Jova oh your Lord of it oh my life me or Leneta oh yours been above from my Lord was body by the grace of good judge by the good judgment power and the power and the go. Remete bedamba zimbala tezonja venye da genze lama jube la nila jo zabala jenche da denjus oden se je veda ba kare meze veza free from hare feve veza oline zabala jenche lilo by the blessings of the triple by the power of the Vajava, Dama Hodala no Manjusha, Lila Maya de la Buddha Gro, praying for Jesus Pave, praying for Jesus Ajala, praying that the woman grows, but not to bow from the oh bless me, may the hell of La Mandela, may the whole the Jesus Adela, may the feminine glories better to the good again, pressure teachings of the no. Others who give it to Jovim, enjoy all times and pleasure, may the spirit flourish everywhere. Open live wisdom and compassion, holding teaching that and the Pele Gurus of Vajif, may the Lilo, may the number, show you Vajip, but the living being, practicing teachings, may the pious Sangas and fire, may the ever flourish everywhere. Feel and necessity, people can achieve all the may the Vivi Michala, Medaban Lejovan, Teva Bella Gallants of the gender business, Meda City Fever with the Gobana Cosa Bana Bridge, Lightning Grass, Glasses, a Gobo, Bego Dance and Jovel, Pollens of the Jazz of the Jovanas of living, Better get up, get over the people sing a lesser good a job, but I can't be no Rola Gawa, Bizove, Saji, Rola, Sarasa, Dena, Dele, Meda Gore, Jojo, Solis Judges of the Gongora, and the Damascus, Palakas over in Devas and Babanja Jazz over, Amagaras, Above and all the monies, spending time to Jibber, I made that chanting and the breath. Mele Beva Navi Mazana, holding pure morals of listening, thinking, meditating, so the teachings of the Saka, those who practice or distraction shall enjoy trophy one, which was showing a piece of blood, made the spirit.
Masavle ke vasvaja ve practice and so good. Maybe shon revin le lo gora veda dama. Give more contra business meditation business. We perfect Buddha veda meta values of the cases. Gives a cause of God tondras what the dama is to properly. Interest of another for increase of the benefit. Clearing all the dhammas interest then perfect every again vocal. And if the message choosing it as people by the Guru Messenger, by the truth of Sajot, and that's all beyond made this obligation before. Glory Sakya, Master of the Lord, of the Mahayana in the congratulations and good, may your blessings are more. Lama being bandit, wasn't Baba Holy Magic. Second, but the glory Sakya, may your visions are more. Oh, there's a cause of the Gangara, get in a body dorjit. Kungazombo, Buddhist prophecy, may your visions our monge. Glorious Sagas and the Asanga, Razalaga, Jomer. As a Dama Asian flood of Dression cities of the air. Yagara, Mountain Body, Meshera Zambo Sava, Tsongagara, Dozo, the may your vision flood again. Buddha region, Sakya Manjusha, Lion. The elephants and for Corantian Plaza Harry, Melegal and Head Presence Drama in outer evil. Exuva Jadara Lozaba, Mayor Tijan Flood. Other sages coming to the world, but the Tijan shining ladders. Sanga and Disaba in a go, Meda Dod and our Monge. Meda Tijan and the Tijada, those who hold the Tijan. Meda Badan Sponsor go, Meda Dod and our Monge. Meda Rudelini Guruga, Meda blessings of the tribute, Meda Dhamma Gandhi Bambava, Inigo Dharma Grandi Breath. So sorry about everyone with the screen sharing. We didn't have the correct, quite the right version there. So you have been stranded, but most of you are familiar with the text. So I'm sure you have managed to join. Now you can also have a virtual sweet rice. I think Paul is working so hard to make this sweet rice.
I wasn't going to, though. But it's done.
It's done.
It's not done how
Thank
so auspiciousness Rinpoche of the sweet rice.
Thank you.
Those who don't know.
Yeah, thank you.
It's not okay.
Yes,
You
yes,
don't have to eat it all.
yes. No, I know. Oh, looks good.
In the bag.
Everyone on Zoom, if you wanted to have some short messages, if you want to share with your Sangha, please do so, because you don't get to see each other very often. So while we are munching sweet rice and chai, I think we're going to have some soup as well in a minute if they are heated.
Does anyone want more sweet rice?
Hey.
No? No, too much sweet.
No, it was really good. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
No. Okay.
As you all know, we are having a very special commencement of the construction project Saturday, special ceremony to honor our builder, to wish him well. In Tibetan Buddhist construction planning, they actually say the builder, when he does different stages, so we should always honor him, thank that. So in here, in this West, it's very, very dry and hardly anything happens, So at least at the beginning of the construction project, we're going to honor Lance and his team on Saturday. So those of you who are in Canberra should really show up. Others are coming from interstate as well. So please come and support him and give him a good cheer. And because it's a mammoth work, he's been working not just today onwards, but he's been working 7 years since we first started drawing the project in 2017 or even 16. So Lance has just really, really stuck in there right from the beginning. From the first first stint we tried to do, and then the second, and so on. So he and I have really stuck together, because otherwise we have various committee members come and go. Very few people really wanted to stick in there to do the real thing. People really think it's too much, too risky, whatever. But Lance has kept really like a pillar to hold this together. We finally now supposedly succeeded to have the necessary funds to build. So it's a very auspicious day to wish him well. So that's why we have that ceremony scheduled on Saturday, 11 o'clock. So even if you can't be there, please think of him and wish his construction work good, because he's so organized. I couldn't believe. He's got everything written down, everything meticulously, when will be done what. If we don't have someone like him, I don't think it will take off even if you have money. So we are very lucky. He's been with me many years, 16 over years. He used to live in Canberra. Then he moved to the South Coast with his family, and then when he first heard our project, he straight away put his hands up and said, I'll come and do it. And he's helped Jampal, and we traveled together India, looked at all the monasteries and so on. So now it's really happening. So it's a very exciting opportunity to do that. So that's what we're doing this Saturday. Thank you, everyone.
You know how there's a song play on the 25th of the lunar month?
Which?
Each lunar month.
Yeah.
Sometimes the 25th is missing. What do you do then?
Oh, then 26th.
The day after.
Yeah, day after. Yeah.
That's what's happening next week.
Yeah.
Weekend after that.
Yeah.
This came in the mail.
This came in the mail. Oh, yes. Yeah. I received another one, too.
Oh,
Another one addressed to the P.O. Box.
so you have two now.
2.
Bank accounts. Sorry? Who owns them? They advertise them.
Anthony?
I don't probably know.
So everybody, there's some soup that Anthony made, and some. Huh?
We'll go out there because there's prayers.
I think so. I think we go out and have rather than in here. Just help yourself rather than. Thank you very much, everyone online. I got another engagement later on 9 o'clock with Solon Sakya teacher, so please try to join, because he's always giving this special Shakyamuni Buddha empowerment tonight, 9 o'clock. So
Will we all stay here?
no.
We have to go home.
Well, it's up to you where you go. You can zoom in from wherever.
So we won't be having you here.
No, they're having in India.
No, I know, but we won't be zooming it here.
No, we're not. We're going home. I think we're going home. That's where. Please go and have soup quickly. We need to pack up. Oh, thank you very much, everyone. So we'll say good night to you, and maybe see you later tonight, but not face to face because there will be thousands of people.